Said sir, can we start or should we wait for some more time, Said sir?
देखिए प्रोफेसर फरहान ने ज्वाइन किया होगा।
हाँ, ज्वाइन कर लिया है सर। मैं उनको को होस्ट कर रहा हूँ।
ठीक है।
सो आई थिंक
तो
एवरीवन हैव ज्वाइंड आई थिंक नाउ।
या
फरहान सर,
Yeah, yeah, I've joined.
या प्लीज। हाँ
I
तो
think we can start.
या
हम्म,
हर पार्टी को अथॉरिटी पर रखने का काम किया है और ये पाया है कि जो इस तरीके से आम आदमी पार्टी है।
Good morning, everyone. I am
हम्म,
Muhammad Adil, Council Member of Placement Cell, and I am honored to be your host for today's webinar.
आदिल एक मिनट रुकिएगा।
Okay, sir.
हम्म, डॉक्टर मुजीब शुरू करें क्या? आपकी तरफ से होगा या इधर आदिल से शुरू कर रहे हैं हम?
नहीं नहीं, आपकी तरफ से चालू हो जाएगा सर। एज पर शेड्यूल विल स्टार्ट एंड देन द सेशंस विल टेक केयर।
ठीक है आदिल, जस्ट गो अहेड। या
Okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am Muhammad Adil, Council Member of Placement Cell, and I am honored to be your host for today's webinar on artificial intelligence in drug discovery, jointly organized by the Placement Cell, School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Jamia Hamdard, and Clinisol Research Private Limited. We extend our deepest gratitude to Honorable Chancellor Jamia Hamdard Janab Hamad Ahmed Sahab and Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Muhammad Afsar Alam for their continuous inspiration and unwavering support. A warm welcome to Professor Saeed Ahmed, Placement Officer, SPUR, and the organizing chairman of today's webinar, whose vision and efforts have been instrumental in bringing this event to life. Sir, I would like you to come on the stage and to say a few words about regarding the webinar.
So thank you very much, Muhammad Adil. Adil is a placement cell coordinator and he is just new to this for hosting or organizing any program. So we are introducing one by one our students. So first off, I would like to thank Professor Farhan Jalis for sparing his time for this program. In fact, this program was we thought a few days back, and because of help of Sheikh Mujibuddin sir, we could realize it this program here, and I am thankful to him also for giving his all the efforts in shaping the future of our students. So very much thank you to Mujib sir. So and even for getting one speaker from United States on AI, and I hope this is going to be very useful for our students, and time to time he is also going to help for many other programs related to placement cell and on AI and clinical research, as he is expert in those things. And with this remark, I am also thankful to our coordinators, placement cell coordinators, Dr. Rabia Parveen, Dr. Bushra, and Dr. Adil, and from chemistry, Muhammad Rafi, and yes, yeah, one more. So four coordinators, they all joined, and then all the students who are participating in this program. I hope this is going to be very useful for them. And with this remark, I invite Professor Farhan Jali sir for giving his input regarding this program, and to introduce the audience about the school and ISPAR, in fact, Rank 1 Pharmacy Institute of India. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Professor Said. And first of all, I welcome all the students. And as you all know, Placement activity is one of the most important activity, and I'm thankful to Dr. Saeed Ahmed and his team for organizing this webinar on a topic which is, I think, the buzzword nowadays. Everyone is talking about artificial intelligence, its role in drug development, drug discovery. So a lot of things are happening. And as a passing out students from School of Pharmacy, which is number one as per NRF ranking for the last, I think, 6 years. And we are thankful to our speaker and all the organizing team that they have arranged this program. And I also encourage all the students who are listening to this, because they have to update their knowledge, they have to update their technical know-how, so they can face all these challenges and interviews which they are going to face in the time to come. Because whenever a company is visiting, they want the best for their own institution, their company, and they try to choose those who are up to date with the knowledge. And these types of programs are always helpful in keeping you update with what is happening in the real world. So I think we are using all these technology, social media for fun purpose also, but we should also use it for our education and our keeping our up to date with the latest happening. So I wish all the best to the program and congratulate the team once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you once again. So, Adil, you can go ahead and so we
Okay,
can
sir.
start the program. Yeah.
Today, we are privileged to have two distinguished speakers who bring a wealth of expertise to this discussion. First, Mr. Mujibuddin, CS, founder and CEO of Clinosol Research. A very welcome to you, sir. And Dr. Sridhar Yashmania, artificial intelligence scientist, Boston University. A warm welcome to you, sir. Too. I also extend a heartfelt welcome to all the participants joining us today. I encourage you to actively engage, ask questions, and make the most of this opportunity to learn from our esteemed speakers. Now, it is my privilege to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Mujibuddin. As the founder and CEO of Clinisol Research, he has led the organization to become an ISO certified leader in clinical research, handling projects, and training in areas such as clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, medical writing. With prior leadership roles at IQVIA and Oracle, he has played a significant role in clinical data management. Currently, he also serves as Associate Director at Sai Ganga Panikia and Advisory Board Member at Pharma Now. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you for a wonderful invitation. And thank you, Said sir. Thank you so much for making this happen, because it was last moment which we have thought. And I know how much you are busy, but though you are very busy, you wanted to make sure that students are getting benefit. So thank you so much, Said sir. And thank you, for making this happen.
Thank you, Mujib bhai, for your efforts, in fact. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So we'll go ahead with the first topic. I have my first topic. I hope my screen is visible and I'm audible and I'm visible also. So just confirm me if my screen is visible. And for the best interest, we have made everyone on mute so that we can go ahead with slide presentations nicely. So my topic today is on artificial intelligence in clinical trials. How artificial intelligence and what are the things artificial intelligence has made us realization in clinical trials. That's something which I'll be speaking. There are two words in this. One is artificial intelligence. The other word is clinical trials. Nowadays, everyone is talking about two words, which is called as artificial intelligence. And every industry is utilizing the technology front, which is artificial intelligence. Now, the biggest problem is we are belonging to pharmacy or life sciences or medical background. how can we learn artificial intelligence and implement into our activities? The most important part of it is how can we learn little bit of artificial intelligence and put it implementation of clinical trials. So how we can utilize in drug discovery, how we can make sure that the quality, the time, the money, the effort is reduced with the use of artificial intelligence, wherein we can understand the predictions, we can generate the results, and we can use the data scientist as a part, and we can plan the things accordingly for clinical trials. That's the beauty of AI in clinical trials. So first of all, I'll put a word on clinical trial. So going forward, the whole agenda will be on clinical trials. One is on preclinical trials, and also the other one is human clinical trials. I'll be focusing more on human clinical trials because every new molecule, either it is biosimilar or biologic or a device or a vaccine or whatever it is, or a cosmetic product or nutraceutical, whatever product it has to undergo rigorous preclinical testings along with clinical trials. So when you conduct a clinical trials, you get a evidence-based data where you can submit it to the regulatory body for getting approval for your molecule. So this is the entire story of clinical trials. Now coming back to a story called as clinical trial, it has to be tested on human beings to understand its safety, efficacy, or any kind of adverse events or drug interactions or dose or dosage, whatever questions you have about the molecule, you're going to get it in terms of clinical trials. That's the basic agenda. So now story started like this, that clinical trial time has to be reduced. A simple example, COVID came. Everyone was praying God that new vaccine should come into market. And vaccine came within 1.5 year or 1 year time, the development of vaccine, and also the parallel preclinical and clinical testing was also done, and expedited approval with the existing data and with the clinical trial monitoring reports, we have got the approval. Though the clinical trial continued and we got to have results also, but this is expedited review and approval for the clinical trial. This is the place where everyone wants the treatment of the molecules with a nice evidence and also with a shorter duration and more quality effort. So now clinical trials are multiple phases. It starts with phase 0. Recently, we have added phase 0, phase 1, 2, 3, 4. Every phases have different kind of objectives, methodologies, designs, and which subject has to be taken and how it has to be conducted. So every clinical trial phase has their own objectives and designs and all those stuff. Now, coming back to how the clinical trial have modified from earlier when artificial intelligence or data science or machine learning was not there, now how clinical trials have got reduced with the timelines. So that's the story which I'm going to speak for today. So this is just an introduction that what exactly was clinical trials and what is artificial intelligence is everywhere we are using AI. So we are teaching to the system and system is giving advices and suggestions to us based on the data which we have given to the system. So that's the word which is called as artificial intelligence in particularly for any kind of activities. So the first one, the first activity in clinical trials, that's your patient recruitment. You get delayed for any kind of new drug to be released in market because you don't get enough patients. That's the biggest task. So the recruitment of the patient is the first challenging aspect. Now, how can we use AI to recruit a patient? Because earlier days, we used to go to a hospital and say them that, boss, I need patients, I need patients. And doctor used to say, okay, wait, I'll bring old data that, okay, these are the patient data you have. You search which patient suits you because inclusion, exclusion criteria are very critical. You have to have the patients in those criterias only, and you cannot go out of those criterias. The first and foremost part, very important for clinical trial success, is a right inclusion and exclusion criterias and also patient recruitment within a shorter span so that you can test your molecule on the patients and get the approval into the new drug molecules. That's the first one, which is called as patient recruitment. So now first, how AI has utilized for patient recruitment. So AI has streamlined the patient identification. So it has identified the patients by analyzing diverse amount of data sources. Like either if you go and search for a Google, say for example, I want to know about diabetes mellitus. So the word when you are searching in diabetes mellitus, I can get those data also from the system that who are the people who are searching for diabetes. That's the first one. The second one is we can use models which are called as a person is searching for any particular groups. diabetes mellitus Facebook groups are there or Instagram groups are there. In there, we can go and put our AI agenda so that we can get the patient data from digital medias also. That's a part number two. Third part is we can use imaging data. We can use lab data. We can use EHR and EMR data, and we can use insurance data. All together data, we can put and we can analyze this data, and we can identify the accurate the patient, and we can reduce the time and improve the efficiency of identification of the patient. So it utilizes the predictive analytics and also algorithms to identify the suitable patients. And also it goes and find outs in EHR records, electronic health records. If all patient data is maintained at one central server, then you can go and search the patient saying that, okay, I need this kind of a criteria. Can you search for it? So then you'll be able to get the patients exactly what data or what eligible patients you want efficiently. So the first part we can get it solved is by using patient recruitment. So we can recruit the patient with the help of AI very quickly without going and asking for the doctor saying that I wanted to identify. So this is a very easy way for identifying the patients recruiting. The second important point, that patients, when they have got into clinical trial, they have to be engaged, else they will not come into clinical trial, or they will not follow up into clinical trial, or they might go with non-compliance of using medications, which is more problem for us, because most of antibiotic resistance are happening because of only one reason. They don't continue and complete their full course of the treatment. In between, they'll say that, Moss, I have got good now. I don't want to continue any treatments. Now, AI has enhanced the engagement of the patients. The most important point is AI enhances the patient engagement through personalized communication. So we can send alarms to the patients saying that, boss, you have a treatment drug to be taken on this time. We can send mailers or WhatsApps to them. We can use sensors to them. We can monitor, and we can also give a tablet kind of experience where they can engage with us, or we can use a telemedicine or telepharmacy or telehealth apps on the mobile phones of the patient, where patient gets engaged and will not miss any follow-up treatments or any data corrections or collection of the data by the patients. AI can be used for all those things. So now it enhances the patient participation, because patient feels like he is part of clinical trial because the engagement is so high, and we are using that patient AI so that the participation and retention is more because of personalized interaction. So if you start speaking with the name and personal interactions, then it obviously gets into the engagement of the patient. So that's it, point number two, role of AI. And point number three, what is the best example for patient engagement? So it's called as chatbots. So now, for example, ChatGPT. So when you type anything, it understands, it breaks down the words, it gives the answer. Say, for example, what is my name? ChatGPT breaks the word. What is my name? First word, it will put name. Then it gets interacting with me. It does not give a random answer. It understands the question properly, split the question, and answer me that question. That's your chatbots. It increases the power of real-time information, and also engagement and compliance will be increased with the patient engagement. So this is the best example that chatbots will be there. So may I help you? Like that, chatbots will be there where patient engagement can be increased so much high on this. Yeah, one of the most interesting story is protocol design. Most difficult part of clinical trials is the right design. Say, for example, you have 3 molecules. So which molecule has to be tested on which, and which group subjects have to be continuing on which. You have so much of new designs, latest designs. And we have to understand the historic data that is the same kind of a molecule or a group of molecule, how those clinical trials were being designed. We have archived all historic data of clinical trial protocols. Every data is available now on the systems. Now you just require a simple programming language so that it goes and understands the historic data, and also it provides the answers. It provides the answers to the historic data, that how clinical trials can be designed with the historic data so that optimizing the criteria and outcome of clinical trial can be easily performed. So now AI can assist designing the robust protocol. So just you give that, okay, my molecule is this, my patients are this, my treatments are this, my inclusion criteria, my exclusion criteria, my outcome might be this. Can you develop a protocol? It can give you wonderful, robust protocol by analyzing the historic clinical trial data. And also it optimizes the criteria and it enhances the trial efficiency so that failure rate will be reduced. So it's increasing the trial efficiency rate so that trial does not get failed. So now AI is assisting in robust protocol design. So now one simple step, all places AI is used. Either it is identification of patients or engagement of patients or designing of a clinical trial protocol, which is a backbone for conducting your clinical trial. So now, what is the role of AI? It assists in designing optimized protocol. What is optimized is the best protocol which can be utilized for making the clinical trials go very smoothly. So optimized clinical trials, improving the study feasibility. So you have to have study feasibility. You can't have saying that I need 10,000 patients in 1 month. You can't have that. That feasibility is not there. So now you have to have the study feasibility. Based on it, the AI can assist the optimized trial, wherein the study feasibility can be increased. So that's role of AI in protocol design. So now what is the example on protocol designs? AI algorithm analyzes the historic clinical trial data to suggest protocol modifications so that we can get a better outcome for the clinical trial. So this is the most interesting that we can use AI in terms of protocol designing, the robust designing with the historic data analyzing, we can get those information. Now, the most important word, everyone wants to understand this answer. So the role of AI in clinical data management, the role of AI in clinical data management. So now the clinical data management part is you collect the data, you validate the data, and you reconcile and you archive the clinical trial data. So you collect the data, you validate the data, you reconcile the data, and also you archive the clinical trial data. So the overall picture of clinical trials is you need to take the patients into clinical trial and also you need to analyze the data. And the data is more focused because without clinical trial data, you cannot answer any kind of evidence-based questions. So now evidence-based questions comes with clinical trial data, which is the clinical data management. So this is the most important point which we have to have in clinical data management. So now already we have used so much of EDC systems, electronic data capture systems. Now AI automates the data collection. So earlier we used to say, okay, we used to write in paper data and then we used to convert that, transcribe that into electronic copy. Now that's a big story. Then we said, okay, why are we writing on paper? Just can we write on directly system? Then the doctors and also CRCs started writing on the system. Then we started saying, why should we write on the system only? Because if a patient is entering some data on his personal laptop or on a tablet or a telehealth app, so can we directly integrate that data? Can we get the lab data of the patient directly integrated? Can we get telepharmacy area, the data directly into the system? So integration of system we have started. So now the automation of data collection is done. You collect different kind of sources, different kind of a data can be pushed back. That's the first thing. The second thing is the real-time monitoring of anomalies. So what is anomaly is very much abnormal value. So it might be, say, for example, blood pressure is all the visits, it's 120, 140 by 120 or something, 120 by 80 was all the visits, the blood pressure. But on certain visit, it is shown as 1000 by 400, something like that. So it's an anomaly. So it's a erroneous data. So that's how we identify the data which can be used. So anomalies is one. The second one is errors. How can you identify errors? And also, how can you adhere to protocol? How can you make sure you are making as accurate as protocols and also the data quality and integrity of data, because the whole logic of clinical trials or pharmacovigilance or drug discovery comes with only one word, that's manipulation of data and throttling of data. So most of us are trying to make sure The data is not falsified. The data is trustworthy. The data is having quality, and also the integrity of data is not compromised. So enhancing the data quality, AI is utilizing for transcribing the data, collecting the data, validating the data, and also archiving and transferring of clinical trial data to the different systems. So now AI utilizations in clinical data management is your automations of all those works is called as AI in clinical data management. Now, what is role of AI in clinical data management? So it enhances, one is accuracy, accurate data, so which is the valid data, which is complete, and also it's a clean data. So it's a complete data and also clean data. So one is data accuracy. The second one is efficiency in data cleaning. So you clean the data, you make sure that data is not having any errors. You clean the data. So the efficiency of clinical data cleaning can be done with the role of AI. So that's the most important thing, which is in clinical data management. What's the example, best example we can give? So you have machine learning algorithms, you have ML algorithms, identify and rectify the errors in clinical data. And also it reduces the manual workload. It reduces the whole manual workload that you transcribe the data, start entering the data into the systems. All these things will not be needed. Just one single click, all the data is being transferred, all the data is validated, all the data you have is validated information. So AI in clinical data management is one of the most important part. So now where else we are using AIs in clinical trials? First one, identification of patient. Second one, retention of the patients where chatbots can be used, and also protocol designing where robust protocol designs can be done, and also in clinical data management. The data collections, validations, and also archiving of clinical trial data can be done by your CDM. So this is one more very important part. Very important word, the next one is clinical data analysis. Now, the data analysis is most important point because you have to analyze the data and showcase your competitor drug or your other molecule which you have thought that gold standard has to be compared. The outcome has to be compared with your drug to other drug. But it's not very easy that how we are speaking. So much of data, vast amount of information, and also unstructured data comes into picture. So unstructured data, wherein, like for example, X-rays or ECGs or CT scans or MRI are the outcome of the clinical trial drug, then you cannot analyze the data of X-ray or ECG or MRI or CT scan. How can you identify those data, unstructured data, convert it into structured data and analyze the data? That's something which is called as clinical data analysis. So AI processes vast data sets, it provides vast data sets, and also it provides the actionable insights for decision making and also improving the trial outcomes and efficiency. So it gives most of informations to us that all processes, whatever processes you say, the vast data sets, the vast outcomes and efficiencies. Now, what is the role of AI is they leverage the advanced algorithms to extract meaningful insights from vast amount of healthcare data. You have lot of healthcare data, and you get meaningful inputs or meaningful insights from the existing data. That's your role of AI in clinical data analysis. Now, what is an example? The example is medical imaging analysis, wherein AI algorithms can assist radiologists in detecting abnormalities in either X-rays or MRIs or CT scans. So X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans. All these words can be analyzed because these data are unstructured data wherein they come as images. But when you speak with the data, the patient was having 100% disease, but from there, patient took a treatment and then he got 50% of disease. So that answers we cannot give, and we can only give with the help of X-ray or ECGs or MRI with the help of AI. The AI can be used for clinical data analysis in a particular and perfect way. So that's your medical imaging analysis where AI can be utilized for analysis of the patient data. The most important one, monitoring, the clinical trial monitoring reports. Now, AI can analyze the patient data. So now, for example, we have already started one clinical trial 3 months back, and we have already 3 months data with us. that 3 months, within 3 months, this many patients came and this many adverse events happened. All those things we have started speaking. In that way, AI can analyze the patient data, and also it can detect and predict the adverse events, that how many adverse events can happen, enabling timely interventions, that okay, this many adverse events can happen, so let's get ready for this many adverse events, because historic data says that this many patients have taken the drug and this many adverse events we have got. So now, improving the patient safety, we can plan such a way wherein we can directly go into intervention of adverse events. So what is the role of AI in monitoring, the clinical trial monitoring? So monitors the patient safety, identifies the potential issues in the real-time situation. The real-time situations, ongoing clinical trials, you can monitor the patient safety, and also it can identify your potential health issues wherein you have in adverse event. So this is one thing which is clinical trial monitoring, for particularly in your identification of adverse events and managing the adverse events. So AI algorithm can analyze the patient data to detect and the adverse events. Based on it, the improving safety monitoring can be done. So this is one thing which is most important part for clinical trial monitoring. Clinical trial monitoring. So this is most important part for AI in clinical trial monitoring. The next biggest one is the medical coding. So the amount of data, the clinical trial data which we have got is so much high. So now we have to use the AI in medical coding or clinical coding. And how can we increase the automation of medical coding? Because medical coding cannot be done by a human man, and it takes a lot of efforts and human tendencies and human work. How can we reduce, and how can we use algorithms and AI ML for automatic coding of the data? So increase in the data sources with all global sites. The medical coding process have been facing so much increase of manual codings, and automated codings can come into one single shot of coding. So ML models are being used in conjunction with NLPs. So ML is machine learning models, and also it is being used with natural language processing. So to identify the terms reported on existing encyclopedia. So you have a dictionary, meta dictionary. Existing terms which are already coded can be looked into it, and also can be stabilized or standardized of the terms. Never terms in public domain or newer public domains terms can do manual coding, but already coded terms can be automatically coded with the system. Yeah. So now this is one more thing which is most interesting one, which is called as risk assessment. So the risk assessment, which is called as RACT, risk assessment has been the tool that aids in creation of the risk-based plan. However, the device and execute fully operationals would require association of all the different teams: CRA, CDM, coding, programmers, and statistician. But it can affect the finances and also time for inception of various tasks. But it is very, very useful to have you on rack team. So hence, AI specifically unsupervised models are being used for large extent of the preparation of risk plans, and also KRIs and QTLs. So the amount of work which can be outsourced. So this is about the risk management plan. So this is my last slide. So I have spoken about so much about how clinical trials AI is being used. One is patient identification, retentions, and also protocol designings, clinical data management, clinical data analysis, and medical coding, and also about risk management plan. So you can follow us on YouTube, which is Clinosol Research, LinkedIn Clinosol Research, Instagram, and Facebook also. You can follow us. And I am also available in LinkedIn and Instagram. So last one are my LinkedIn and Instagram. So my LinkedIn is CEO Clinosol Research, and Instagram is Mujibuddin Sheikh. So with this, I would take a pause. And if any questions are there, I can take, but already other speaker has joined. So without any delay, I would put my last slide, which is thank you slide. So thank you so much, everyone, for patience listening. I'm open for questions because the other trainer has joined. So let's wait. Let's start the session with Sridhar sir After that, we can take some questions. You can type the questions in the chat box, and we can take the questions later. Adil, if we have any questions, we can take it at the end. Or
Okay, sir.
Sridhar sir has already joined. Sridhar sir, you are able to hear us? You're able to unmute? Sridhar sir?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Adil, can we start with Sridhar sir, or do we have any introduction?
Yes, sir. We can start with Sridhar sir. We will take the question after the Sridhar sir segment.
Yeah. Sridhar sir, over to you. You can switch on your camera if you are available in camera by any chance, and you can share your slides.
Yeah, so just trying to share my slides.
Sorry to interrupt. First, I think Adil has to introduce the speaker, then Dr. Sridhar will.
Go ahead, Rabia madam. Sridhar sir, can you give just a minute so that Rabia madam wants to introduce you?
Adil,
Okay.
please welcome the
Thank you
speaker.
for the privilege, ma'am. I would like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Sridhar Yashmania. Dr. Yashmania is a renowned AI scientist at Boston University, specializing in the application of artificial intelligence in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industries. His pioneering research has significantly contributed to AI-driven drug discovery and development, making treatments more efficient and accessible. Sir, we are honored to have you with us. Over to you, sir. Sir,
Yeah, is my slides visible?
Not now.
not now, sir.
Yes, now it's visible.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 minute, please.
Sridhar sir, your screen is visible.
Yeah, just I was. Is it in slideshow? I don't know.
Yes, it's in slideshow.
Mhm.
You can switch on your camera, but I don't feel like your camera is on.
I have switched on my camera, but I don't know.
But
It's
sir,
okay,
we
sir.
cannot see.
Continue. We can continue.
Is that my? Am I visible?
No, sir. I think
No, sir.
yeah. I think no one is able to see you, sir.
No, sir.
I don't know. Mhm.
Can you look into on top any camera is closed or something?
No, I
Like
think
start
so.
video.
Yeah, because I feel like your camera is closed, sir. We are able to see that your camera is on, but we are not able to see your face. I think we can continue, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some technical issues. Sorry. Mhm. But my slides are visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Your
sir.
slides are visible, but your
You can go
face.
ahead, sir.
Mhm.
You can continue, sir. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Sir, your slides got stopped, sir. Sharing is stopped.
I don't know. First time I'm getting this. Apologies for that. I don't know. Slides are not visible yet.
Yeah. Now you have stopped sharing, sir, I think.
No, no, no. Okay, video. I don't know. I don't want to try video now. No.
Yeah. But slides are not visible, sir. Earlier it was visible.
Okay. 1 minute, please. So,
Sir, can you hear us?
yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, your slides are not showing, and
Yeah, 1 minute. I did it.
Sridhar, sir, your
Okay.
slides are not
If I
visible.
make it slideshow, I'm unable to share. I don't know.
No, sir. It's okay, sir. Normal also you can share, sir. Earlier it
Okay.
was able to share, sir. Now it is not able to share. Earlier we
Okay.
were able to see your screen.
Fine.
Suddenly it got off. Or would you like to share the slides so that I can give it to Adil and he can share the slides, sir?
Yeah. Yeah,
You,
I'm doing that.
yeah, you can send me WhatsApp. I'll share it to Adil so that he can open from his side and you can share.
yes, sir.
I think now it is coming. Yeah, done, sir. Now it is perfect.
Yeah.
It is
Thank
full
you.
screen.
Thank you.
Full screen.
Yeah. Is it in full screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. And apologies for the delay. So, yeah, I think good morning or good afternoon. Yeah. So now by that time, I think Dr. Mujib has already set up the tone for the artificial intelligence, the background, and I also take this opportunity to thank the organizers for scheduling this webinar and uh, and giving me this opportunity. Thank you. And I want to just briefly take you through a full overview of the artificial intelligence applications in drug discovery, and more importantly, some on the clinical trials, which Dr. Mujib already has enhanced the implications. But I want to show some of the applications in the real-time solutions which we are using, and also in clinical trials and pharmacovigilance. Just an overview of various companies which have been involved and in the development of some of the drug development activities. By now, that the artificial intelligence is in a transforming complete drug discovery process, and no longer will be the conventional mode of drug discovery is applicable in a maybe in a short duration, maybe 2030 we will have more evolvement in the drug discovery by accelerating research, reducing cost, primarily the cost, and more focus towards the efficacy part of it. Because once we are aware of the historical data of various classes of drug molecules, so we will be evolving with more specific with the undesired effects or untoward effects of the drugs will be minimized, and we will be able to give the target delivery systems or the drugs which is effective, especially for the desired therapeutic area, and improvising this efficacy, and also improvising more safer products for the human race. And traditional drug discovery methods take several years, as everyone is aware of the drug development process, which conventional 10 to 20 years. And because of the involvement of certain regulations, we have getting some waivers in some of the development phases of the drug, but it's also cost billions of in drug development process. So by application of artificial intelligence and other newer competitive models, where we are revolutionizing the entire process, and we have to, it's in a high time that everyone has to get into the information on the new technology or new methods of drug. Primarily, the importance in AI drug discovery, which helps us in identifying the new drug candidates. So the lead molecules, which most of the, so the previous conventional drug discovery process of lead high throughput screening, the highest method of this thing. Apart from that, now the identifying lead using the artificial intelligence more becomes more predictive in terms of efficacy, in terms of side effects, and also drug-drug interactions. So it can predict many things by application utilization in discovering the lead molecule, and also reducing the time, primarily the time and the cost in the drug development process. And overall, the most of the, if you see from last 2 decades, most of the products which have invested high amount and the time, but eventually in the later stage or in during the late phases of the trials, the most of the products were the failures. The failures because of multiple reasons, and primarily no efficacy, and many companies have lost their molecules which they have invested very high for almost 10 to 15 years. So, in this, to overcome all these challenges, the key application in AI, mainly in target identification. Mainly, I'll go into the details. Yeah, one disclaimer that this is all my personal views and sharing the knowledge which is there in the public domain or through whatever knowledge which I have shared, but it is not linked to any of my university or my organizations earlier which I have worked with. So the primary identification of the target identification, because AI analyzes biological data to find the disease-related targets, particularly genes and proteins, and as well as the other pathways. Where using, because now I think you know the various application methods, right? Let me take through you this slide, where the AI can be utilized in the drug development process in various ways. Where what particularly in it is in 3 different ways. Where is process automation and the interaction mode of responses, or where the reasoning responses. So based on that, we have to use the tools for a process automation, where we have to use the tools like robotic process automation or intelligent process automation, which will be the process automation, particularly in terms of and where which gives more automated, repetitive, predictable responses, and that is the purpose of this. And the scope is to simplify the decision making and make a problem solving approach. Whereas the interactive where we need the communication, means whatever those are the, most of you are aware of this natural language process or natural language generation. So out of which they can be analyze the text or analyze the voice or analyze the content with that based on the data, which large data which Mujib was mentioning, that can be accumulated, and which can be responded to you, like what you have currently already. Some of you are using the AI tools like chat gpt or other tools. So whereas other most important one, where machine learning and the true artificial intelligence, which can be used for the reasoning purpose. So if and but the reasoning, recognizing the patterns and trend analysis, or the predictive analysis can be detected with this type of reasoning tools that we can use. So ultimately machine learning, which will give more reasoning type of deep learning type of activities which can be give more analysis from this. So once you understand this, the tools which can be used based on the type of, like the same example, like when we have different type of, we have quantitative data, qualitative data in statistics. Based on that, we have to use statistical analysis test. So that is how that will be varying here also, based on the approach type, based on the purpose that we have to implement. We have to select that tool. So that is more important. So it is not that all will be with NLP, all will be with ML, or all will be the deep learning process. So saying this, so there are multiple applications in drug development process and the healthcare process, where I'll tell some of the points from the drug discovery point of view, where you can use machine learning and deep learning process to analyze genomic and proteomic data sequences, where give you the examples which companies have used this process. And AI also predict the molecule which could be effective a drug candidate for the further which elicits the efficacy parameters, and which were in this virtual analysis without in the artificial intelligence, where we can also get the more information on the class of the drug, which are the moieties in the drug component which are eliciting the efficacy parameters, and what additional effects can be added, or the where which can enhance or show the synergetic effects or anything. So same way, the drug discovery process, we have the design concept. So where AI will help in design and optimizing new molecules using one of the other tool is generative AI, Gen AI, what we say. So this is called Dino drug designing concept, where AI generates new molecular structures which elicits the desired therapeutic area, and which also minimizes, means whatever the desired objective or hypothesis one as a scientist that we target. Based on that, this de novo design concept will, and also predicting drug target identification, that is more important. What we say it as a DTIs. So these DTIs, how it how a drug will interact with the target cells or tissues or the organs during either in the neuronal network, because most of this will have an high impact on the neurology or cardiology or any other therapeutic area. So where many if you know already know that the deep minds alpha folds predicts protein structures, helping drug discovery. This is one of the example. So same way, where we can also use this for the biomarker discovery. So which type of biomarkers need to be used for the uh, identification during the and means based on the disease type, and based on the type of evaluation or analysis that we have to predict. Based on that, we have to utilize this AI for the identification of the biomarkers, like in cancer chemotherapy, or in Alzheimer disease, or any other rare diseases. We can identify these biomarkers using this AI. So mainly means and also means nowadays the most recent developments, like already existing drugs, because well versed with human acceptance. So drug repurposing, so the many molecules have been brought for um, drug repurposing, primarily used for the existing drugs for the new indications. And this will also will be predicted, and saves time and cost in development process, so that overall prediction and overall drug molecule for the desired therapeutic area is achieved. And yeah, more importantly, which we have said, predicting toxicity and side effects, which is ultimately most important, because if you see in global data, where you can see that the the side effects or toxicity of the drugs is the leading, means top five leading cause of deaths across the globe. So it's not the cancer alone or cardiovascular disease. The deaths due to the toxicities and the drug adverse events is in the third stage globally. So we are in the topmost third. So we have to definitely, there is a lot of predictive on the existing drugs and also on the future evolving drug molecules to predict their toxicity and before the exposure to the humans, and which is more important. So various techniques, like by now you understood that we have various AI techniques. These are the few of the things, like machine learning concept that predicts the drug properties and the interaction level. So as we seen that the primarily that is used for the reasoning purpose, and the same way the deep learning aspects. So deep learning is a concept where I would say that which analyzes complex biologics or the proteomics or the chemical data. That's the deep learning. And whereas the natural language process, which extracts insights from scientific literature. So this is where we have seen for the communication part, where we have large unstructured data sources from the scientific literature, patents, and the clinical trial data. So this NLP used, or this application is used for the potential drug targets as well as exact information about drug efficacy and toxicity. So primarily this, and the various other activities like Gen AI, that is generative AI. So this design, like de novo concept, what we have said, that the design novel drug molecules are the structural components for the new rare diseases or the existing which are with unmet medical needs. So those type of things can be used with Gen AI. And also the quantum computing in collaboration with AI, which stimulates molecular interactions, and those data will be useful. So whereas various I'll go into the details, where the various companies using AI in drug discovery. These are some of the things where explain you, like Atomwise. Atomwise is an AI based molecular screening compound which can be used for this type of objectives. Whereas in silico medicine, and this is also Gen AI based. It generates drug molecules, benevolent AI for the drug repurposing component. And whereas DeepMind is the other alpha mold for protein finding, or the genomic sequence folding activities can be used. Whereas other thing, Exentia is used for precision medicine, where which can be used for the development. So these are the various already available, and we can use, or the people are already implementing this. So based on that, we can have this. So yeah, more details, like in silico medicine, where already been developed new drug candidates for idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis 5 years ago, and this chronic used for lung diseases that affects millions of people worldwide. Similarly, Atomwise is also AI-powered virtual screening platform to identify potential drug candidates for a range of disease inducing cancer and Ebola. So similarly, when we see the global market options, apart from this, there are multiple other startups or multiple other thought process which have been implemented in using the global AI process. So where the as we can see, and most of you are aware that the CAGR, compound annual growth rate, from 2020 to 2027, it is almost 31.6% in the AI generating drug discovery and drug development process. So here it is projected are expected to reach around $4,800 millions by 2027. So you can understand the amount of work which already been implemented by various companies and scientists in order to have this process. So the awareness of this knowledge definitely enhance our career profile, as Mujib already focused on this. So this is one of the critical area, and you see the CAGR, which is most higher than any other field in the globe. So saying this, and most of the things, I think in clinical trial complexities and the challenges which you would have covered, but the complexities are the intricacies are the which most of your conventionally we know that the multiple areas where the global clinical trials that we use in the drug development process. So these are the various areas where the multiple inventions need to be, or innovative concept need to be done, except only few things have been developed currently, but from central lab concept, clinical supplies concept, and also the CROs, whereas the communication part. So you can see now most of our clinical trials where we have let's assume examples with the screening process, the ECG or the 2D echo, which is done at India, is evaluated by the independent cardiologist in UK or in US, so that the unbiased report and the immediate, and this all happens within means minutes. So that way the the global clinical trials have been operating, so that the complexity is completely reduced. So as where you have seen the evolvement of the trial complexities from the, and the increase in the data volume for the large data, like what we have seen during pandemic COVID time, where most of the trials the data was insufficient to make an informed decision. However, uh, based on, because the lack of reporting or lack of documentation of the data. However, this agile power-based AI and the agile cloud-based technical solutions will completely overcome the gap that we have seen with the conventional process. So, understanding this, where we have in the complexities are the challenges, what you say, from the regulatory compliance wise, also on the designing of the protocols and the execution of those, and also the data collection part and collaboration. And so everywhere means one can select any particular area. This is what I meant to say here, and you can see what complexity can be minimized and which can be useful for the development and process. So any of this area, where every area in the drug development process, from what we have seen from discovery, from I have not covered the preclinical area, but there needs some studies. But already most of you know that there was simulation models established for pharmacokinetics. So those type of things can be still further improved. And in the clinical trial process, also development process, we have multiple areas, large volume, so we have to overcome all these challenges. So the challenges primarily where regulators or a clinical trial process, where one will be uh, important is, first thing is data quality issues. So data quality issues, like there may be a human error, there may be an instrumental error or anything, but AI models can be implemented to overcome or to identify such outliers or such discrepancies much earlier before data analysis. So in that process, AI models will give high quality biologics and chemical data, and also the regulatory hurdles. So we have various regulatory authority guidelines, like US FDA, EMA, CDSCO, and or TGA, anywhere. But everywhere the drug molecules for particular disease is not. So I'll tell you an example here, where sorry, where some of the drugs in US are considered in the first class or first line treatment for the patients, whereas same drug in the other regulatory agency will be considered in the second line treatment. So in that context, where understanding or designing in a protocol to correctly establish sorry correctly establish the desired primary and secondary objectives or the endpoints will be highly difficult. So those type of studies what we have supported with using a application designed in such a way that so both the health authorities for the first line treatment and second line treatment, the objectives has to be met, and accordingly we have established the primary and secondary endpoints. So these type of regulatory hurdles or the challenges can be overcome and minimize the overall process. So other mm, uh, most factors in the complexity of the clinical development or drug development process from the we can see the various numerous, but I would highlight two of them, where is uh, predictability, like what we say that the black box of the AI model, which makes the results predictive or the so now that the in another way I can give an example where we have a 3 decades of data in most of the drug molecules, where the patient data, efficacy, safety data. So based on that, when we have this reporting criteria from this, then we will have this large volume to predict what exactly the. So when you see the most recently I come across some uh, 50 60 years old products which have been still been using in most of the UTIs and the cardiovascular diseases, but the amount of efficacy to that of the patients is very minimal. But when we identify that, we need to have in a different mode, but some or the other way the patient is getting the benefit out of these drugs. So however, there are no clinical trials or there are no supporting data which establishes this. So like you can take the products like desi products in US, and the also on the presidential approved for emergency use products. So these do not have an ample data, but still existing in the market, where we need to have this in predictability using this black box nature of the AI. So we're also, and also this is there is a computational cost, where which these models require significant the AI models require this, where we can minimize all these challenges in drug development and clinical development process. So this is the other area which want to just give, as we have said, these ADRs being in a large public problem across the globe, and which is in the top 5 leading cause of death. And if you see the data generated at the US FDA, where you can see the eventually there are a number of events. This may be because of the multiple factors which involved for the humans, where the external factors, habitats, climatic factors, food effects, food drug interactions, are the other comorbid conditions or concomitant medications the patients are using. So because of which all these activities. So in this also we are using the AI applications like same tools like machine learning and also on the chatbots, and we are trying to develop the sentinel analysis for deriving the safety data for all the products or the key critical areas, where which can be established, so that the any precautions or the contraindications which has been not identified manually or in the healthcare professional reporting process, it can be predicted and it can be used for the safeguarding the human race. So in other words, there are multiple areas in pharmacovigilance like ICSR, integrated case safety reports, and also signal detection process, or the periodic safety update reports, or causality assessment. So for all those things, this AI application, because we have large data from various sources from the global data, where AI algorithms can be used to analyze adverse events reported across and these large set to identify the potential safety. So conventionally, what we do, this data will be undergo with the statistical analysis, chi-square test, or any other test to identify this, which is a manual process sometimes, which maybe give false positive or false negative results. But AI driven has giving more accuracy, means I would say that 100% accuracy in signal detection. So these are the tools which will be giving the signal refinement and more again the causality assessment. Though we have the MEDRA, global medical dictionary, but the local usage of terminology across the global various countries is varying. So for that reason, AI-based interface with the MEDRA and the other WHO dictionaries will give the proper causality assessment criteria. Means whatever that the algorithm that we feed, based on that, this is the other exercise that been the scientists are working on. And overall, like what we have already said, the predictive analysis of each class of drug, what are the safer approach, means safer products, and really the product which is in the market is eliciting the desired therapeutic efficacy or not, or it's an psychological effect or like a placebo effect. The humans have been still treated with the same type of product. So this will minimize the exposure of unnecessary drugs to the human race. So this is where I was telling the real-time prediction, that is the real-world evidences. Also, we can minimize the polypharmacy, which most of the uh, most from I think 2 decades, many are speaking on this. But however, we can predict that the AI can revolutionize to minimize that polypharmacy concepts, and it will be more precise, personalized medicine, which will be useful for every human approach. So these are some of the AI-based examples where some companies have already been implementing, trying to means enhance the process or implement the process of global drug safety concepts. So Additive is a platform which uses machine learning as an algorithm concept, which analyzes data, electronic health records, as well as medical claims and other sources to predict potential safety issues, where Pfizer has introduced this. And IBM also launched Watson, which most of already you are aware of this, for drug safety platform, which also the similar large scale data predicting the potential safety issues. And thus will previously unknown adverse events, or the adverse events which seems to be non-serious criteria, or the drug-drug interaction, can also be identified with the Watson tool. So these are the major companies which have already used AI in pharmacovigilance concept: Pfizer, Novartis, Sanofi, and GSK, J&J. So they have been implementing to improvise the process and to overall get good conclusions on the safety concepts of the drug. Whereas, yeah, as we see in this AI opportunities in the overall in drug development and drug discovery, where the ultimate goal is to where we are going for personalized medicine, to identify these drug treatment categories for individual case specific, because in particular disease all individuals will not react with the same symptoms, or all patients will not be uh, treated with the same type of treatments. Hence personalized medicine will be more. Similarly, in the precision chemo, oncology, cancer treatment, and also real world evidences with Gen AI, evolvement of Gen AI. We are able to get the more large diversified data sources, means from the various sources like healthcare records, social media, and other companies uh, accumulated safety information and effective information, and this will be used more importantly to predict, and also as well as to make the right labels for the patient's usage. And as we already discussed, the repurposing of the drug and streamlining the clinical trial process, these all challenges can be overcome using the. So hence, we can say that the challenges limitation can be overcome like in a easy solution, and means it's in a what do you say, customized key for every challenge or every problem can be obtained through the AI. That is the concept which I want to highlight. And the even every organization now, I think, coming with an AI concepts to mitigate the challenges, risk, or ensuring patient safety. So this will definitely will minimize the revolutions or the challenges which can't be overcome through human interventions. So further means the future of AI in drug discovery will make faster, means more economical, cost effective, I would say, or more personalized. So the three concepts: personalized, cost effective, and the drug discovery process will be implemented in a faster phase. Whereas now the recent last one which I have mentioned is quantum computing with AI will further speed up the simulation. So the pharmacokinetic simulation data are from the or from any other rare diseases concept, or any efficacy data or the safety data can be faster analyzed with the quantum computing. So this collaboration will enhance a synergetic effect for the drug discovery process in the development. And AI will also help developing drugs for rare diseases and like pandemic like situations where faster development of the products, so that new regulatory guidelines are also being established by US FDA, and also the other regulatory agencies are still evolving with that, so that the drugs which are evolved through the AI based with these regulatory guidelines will speed up overall approval process, and it will be more better medications or better useful products for the patients or the human race. So human and AI collaboration, so already the human intelligence is so vast and so multi purpose. Same way with AI collaboration, it will give more efficacy in pharmaceutical research drug development process. And the overall the traditional concepts of development, traditional concepts of development, and which will be vanish in one decade of time, and subsequently evolving with more interesting way of product launches, strategic mergers will also happen, so that these spike. So gone are the means conventional role of pharmaceutical companies. So in overall, AI will revolutionize the drug discovery by making the process faster, cheaper, and more accurate. And also, the challenges which are currently existing will overcome eventually by AI-driven process, where transforming medicines and saves millions of lives. So, saying this a brief description, but there is a vast presentation. If we take each one of the tool, we need to discuss one session on each tool, and what are the outcomes of it and what are the challenges of it, which is so this is just a brief outline so that individuals can prefer what they can do for their area of interest and establish. Yeah, thank you once again for Mujib and the organizing team, Adil and everyone, Saida
Thank
madam.
you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sridhar and Mr. Mujibuddin, for your expertise remarks. Now, we will open the floor for the question. Please drop them in Zoom chat, and I will take them up one by one. The first question is from Somdat Amre. Use of AI in pharmacovigilance and then how AI will change pharmacovigilance in next 5 years, and which skills are required for pharmacovigilance AI.
Is it for me, Adil? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sridhar sir, you can answer all the questions. AI in clinical trials, drug discovery, and pharmacovigilance also. So I
You
would
are
like
the
to
expert.
answer the questions.
So in pharmacovigilance, because as you know, the conventionally the guidelines is mandatory for across all MH marketing authorization holders to report the adverse events, both serious, unexpected, serious, expected, as well as non-serious, unexpected. So, so previously, non-serious, unexpected, certain regulatory agencies were not accepting, but this data is primarily required for the signal detection process. So, see, keeping in this mind, so one individual has to primarily understand the regulatory guidelines as well as some of the technical concepts on the AI. So because it will minimize our skills, but operational model one has to understand. So mainly already you may be using certain tools, but if you see the literature data, so the safety data which is published in various journals, so the regulatory mandates to have two different databases to collect the literature information. On an average, around we get in a volume of every company will get a volume of 10,000 to 1 lakh literatures per week. So you can understand this process of manually screening the data which are valid literature, which are invalid, to make four minimum criteria to be established. So these type of things is not possible by a man. So where AI will give you a ready screening of all these activities, which will help the pharmacovigilance experts to analyze it in a more quicker way. So for let's assume for 10,000 events, we need to have more number of resources to evaluate this, but AI will minimize the effort, human effort, and derive the more accurate results in literature and also the reporting pattern. So other concept is on the, if I have the same molecule approved in US as well as in India and Australia, as per the regulations, we need to cross report all the events across wherever it is available. So in that context, manually there are some incidences where the reporting is missed, which is again a deviation, which is non-compliance. To prevent this non-compliance, the AI will help you into the reporting pattern of wherever the drug is approved across. It is not only 3-4 countries, because most of the pharmaceutical companies are available in 60 to 120 or UNICEF countries, 198 countries. So in that context, this will help the experts, PV experts, in minimizing uh, efforts and reporting in to the regulatory agencies for 100% compliance. Is that meets your answer to your question?
I believe so, sir. And the question, sir, from Akshat Sharma.
Uh, I also have a
In-
question, Adil.
Yes, sir.
Am I
Sure,
audible?
sir. Yes, ma'am, you are.
Good morning. This is Dr. Bushra from Jamia Hamdard. First, I want to congratulate both the speakers for this very informative discussion today. I have few questions in mind regarding this topic. Maybe any of the speakers could take up that. So my question is related to the challenges that are associated with the use of AI in clinical trial or drug discovery. in terms of, say, data quality or maybe the biasness, and the what could be the what is the purview of regulatory agencies in using AI in clinical trials? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, madam. So, in this, because now previously the large volume data, there are multiple chances of bias, or the are are not covering the outliers or some most of the things. But AI driven, the current challenge is mainly to incorporate the audit trial. So I think that is also been getting overcome with some of the tools. So when you use in a clinical trial, where we have the data from the various global centers like 100 sites or any other sites, which will be immediately on a day to day. So if you remember the process, conventionally we used to have conventional monitoring process, but gradually we have evolved as a remote data capturing concept. So remote data capturing, where individuals has to sit and completely analyze each data from the each site. But now with the intervention of the AI, this on a daily basis will be evaluated at various sites. When the data is captured immediately, the outliers or the data discrepancies will be immediately popped up and informed as an DCLs, data clarification logs, to the respective sites. So a auto-generated email will be going to the principal investigator to clarify and generate. So this will minimize the human intervention, so that the faster and more accurate data. And because this is an audit trial, the bias of decision making will not be obtained, or any the data manipulations are completely zeroed out. So in that concept, this will be useful. Same is the applications for the drug discovery concept also, where the audit trial AI will completely, and if you have gone through the recent AI guidelines from the US FDA, which has clearly given the information that we have to have a complete audit trial data for each site, and it has to be presented to the regulators. Mujib, you want to add something?
Sridhar sir, we'll take one last question because we have already gone. Adil will take last question for Sridhar
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Sir is busy.
The final question is: in presence of pre-antibiotic era, how AI help in discovery of drugs?
Yeah.
Sir,
So if you see the drug discovery process, eventually from last 2 decades, we don't have any new antibiotics. So the resistance model, even during recent pandemic, where you can see the many patients have been come with an complete resistance to most of the antibiotics. So it was completely uh, it's a God's hope where the patients have been survived. So in that where the AI will help us to get the new molecules, like what we have seen from the Gen AI, or the competitive computational AI concepts, where we can develop the new antibiotics which are required for the new mutated products. So that way AI will be evolving from that. So because the gone are the existing antibiotics already, most of the human race is resistant. Only the thing is, as a psychological factors, it is getting improvised, but this will overcome with the intervention of AI developed products. That way I
thank
can
you.
say. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
to conclude this session, I would like to invite Dr. Rabi Parveen, Assistant Professor, Jamia Hamdard University, for the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Adil. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Placement Cell SPA, Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has contributed to making this webinar on artificial intelligence in drug discovery a resounding success.